Take the energy and attach to the active. Oh, I've run out of time. I lose. Oh, no. I've run out of time. The deck requires too much thinking, so I just ran out of time. Rough, dude. Too much thinking. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't that was the first time that I've lost that way. How embarrassing. Time is of the essence in Pokemon cards in more ways than one. In fact, let's talk about that. What you just saw was me losing a tournament match because of indecision and inexperience. One of the things that will really catch out a newer player to Pokemon is that time is of the essence. Let's start with that statement. Time is of the essence. It's a resource that's important to you as a Pokemon card game player, and in more ways than one. So why don't we start? Let's start at the micro level, right? When you're playing Pokemon cards over the table, so when you're playing an opponent at an official event, or even just when you're playing online, when you're playing in the PTCGO client, you must make actions in a timely manner. So, in-game, you must take game actions in a timely manner. For a lot of people, it is a consideration when it comes to decks to just make sure that they're selecting a deck that doesn't take a long time to play. Because you cannot sit there and just think forever. You can't just pass in your mind all of the possible outcomes until you approach the correct one. Sometimes you just need to make a decision, right? And you could see what was happening is sometimes I was making poor decisions with the Blaziken deck because I wasn't spending a lot of time on my individual decisions. I was just trying to make decisions at a reasonable pace. And did you see what happened? I still ran out of time. It speaks to the importance of why playing simpler decks can be a very good choice depending on the type of player you are. The fewer decisions that you have to make, the more time you can preserve, and the more time you can spend making sure that the decisions you make are correct. Alright, so that's what I mean by in-game you have to take game actions in a timely manner. So you have an overall game timer to consider, because if you run out of time, you lose, right? And you also have game action timers to consider. Alright. So this is one aspect of time and Pokemon. You need to... And this speaks to why it's important to practice decks. I definitely need to practice the Blazing Volcano deck more, because there are a lot of lines of play and considerations you have to make. Maybe even more than Soaring Storm. So I will be playing that deck more, because I need to be able to make the correct decisions quickly. If it's not immediately obvious what you need to do to ensure that your current turn goes correctly, that your future turns go correctly, then what happens is what happened in that game just now. You run out of time, you lose. Let's think this is in-game, right? Time is of the essence. And then let's think about formats. Right, so the current format will not last forever. Okay, that's something that I want you to consider. The format that we're playing right now, for Standard, the Sword and Shield to Brilliant Stars, it will end one day. People might go on to play the format for fun later on, but its status as the de facto, the current standard competitive format will cease. And the exploration of it, the attempts to achieve victory within it, will be gone. And it will be replaced with a new format. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can't hold on to test ideas, hide ideas forever. So there is a lot to explore within any format. People will tell you that the current format's not solved. The format is not fully explored. You only have a finite amount of time to explore it. So chop chop, get to it. But not just get to it, learn from each other. Don't put yourself inside a bubble and refuse to learn from other people. Okay? So there is a lot to explore within any format. You must learn from others and build on their discoveries. Alright, you cannot lock yourself into a room and ignore all other outside influences and then try to come up with the solution on your own. You can't. For a start off, Pokemon is a two-player game, right? Whatever you try to come up with must consider the person that you're sitting across from. You have to consider what they're learning and discovering about the format too. You can't play on your own. It is a shared effort. Maybe you could sit there and play Pokemon cards by yourself in a room against yourself and come up with the ultimate solution to the format one day. But by that time, we'll be years down the track, right? The format will come and go in months, right? This format is not around forever. You need to participate, right? Right from the get-go as well. You need to participate. You have to learn about it and come up with the solution as part of a whole player base, okay? Otherwise, you will run out of time. Let me cap this off with something. Pokemon as a hobby. Let me say this to you. Pokemon is not a waste of time. Alright? Pokemon is not a waste of time. When we're playing Pokemon cards, for a lot of us, for most of us, for like 99.9% of us, it is a hobby. It is a hobby, and the time that you spend on it should be proportional to that. Okay? Everything in your life needs to be balanced. Right? You got work, you've got home life, you've got all sorts of stuff, right? Balance with the rest of your life. Let me throw something else at you. If it is important to you, you will make time for it. And that statement applies to a lot in life. If something is really, truly important to you, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you'll find time. You'll make time for it. But if you have other things that are important to you in your life, other hobbies, family, friends, what have you, whatever it is that you've got going on in your life, if those things are more important, they'll take precedence. But if Pokemon is important to you, you will make time for it. Pokemon is not a waste of time. If you said to a friend that you want to teach yourself how to play piano, alright? Will that friend tell you that it's a waste of time? Maybe, but probably not. They probably won't tell you it's a waste of time. If you wanted to take up part-time sport, right? On a Wednesday night, you go out and play soccer or basketball or something. Are people going to tell you it's a waste of time? Again, probably not. They'll tell you, it's good exercise, it's a good way to socialize, blow off steam, you're doing something for yourself. So, if you're out there and you're watching this, and you wonder sometimes, maybe a doubt creeps into the back of your head, maybe, am I spending too much time playing Pokemon cards? I don't think that it's a waste of time. Alright, if you get personal satisfaction out of achieving mastery or trying to discover new ways to play the Pokemon card game, new decks, all sorts of things, I think it's really important to continue. As long as it's a healthy balance alongside everything else in your life. I think that just as much as any hobby, people will tell you that it's good to have these things. Pokemon is not a waste of time. And if you're trying to go out there and compete, more power to you, because it's quite cliche, right? People will tell you, it's a good way to meet new people. It's it's a hobby. It's a fun thing to do, but it's true. Really, it's true. It's a good hobby. Just don't be silly. That's all I could say about it, right? So I don't really know how else to end it except that was my take on time in Pokemon and just a few different dimensions to consider. So think about it. Alright, I'll see you in the next live stream or video, so take care and goodbye.